All right.
Hi,
Welcome
everyone.
back, ladies and gentlemen, to the fourth round. And I don't know about you, Samuel, but usually, at least these days, I'm not too excited about Yoshi games anymore. However, I think the matchup against Satya is quite interesting. So I'm a bit excited about that one. We're
Yep.
starting more or less in the middle of the game. There is.
Yeah, we're 5 minutes into the first round,
Yeah.
and we see a sort of spicy play. Hard casting a subtlety with a Simian Spirit Guide on 3. So counter magic from a Satya deck, which doesn't always have counter magic.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
here
know. I can't quite see what's under the Isamaru. I think it's a Skull Clamp.
it's a Skull Clamp, yeah. So
Okay.
here is a decision whether or not to block Yoshi.
Okay. Going to
I
10
think
with a
that's
Yoshi on board is a
that's not a
scary play to
yeah.
be.
I think that's not a good decision here. Usually in that case, or like having a look at that matchup, there's the classic question: who's the beatdown, who's the control? Against Yoshi, in most cases, with Satya, you're always the control deck. So I would always take the chance to get rid of Yoshi because
And with this lineup specifically, it would be so much better without an Isamaru on board.
yeah,
You play guide into Mother, and if he doesn't have answers for those creatures right away, then you are in a very strong position.
exactly.
You
And
can
also
play your
because
Satya the turn after,
you
gain more
know,
life back.
people need to realize that Yoshi is losing so much power time after time. Like you cast him the first time, and then it grows, and then it's a threat. If you have to pay 3 mana already for a 1/1 creature that still needs legendary permanence to enter the battlefield, it's much worse. And we don't even talk about casting Yoshi for 5. If your opponent does that and he's still in the game, something is going completely wrong.
Yeah, yeah. So we have a human attacking, which is probably going to get blocked by the Guide of Souls, and he might consider trading the subtlety for the Yoshi now.
I hope so. Yeah, and he does that. And that's the good decision. Still left with Guide of Souls and Mother of Runes.
So
Let's
it looks
say,
like Yoshi is looking for lands,
yeah, there
which
is a
he has
plan.
found.
Let's say the guide survives, which seems to be the case. Next turn, there is a Satya cast into guide copy. Unfortunately, I don't quite remember. No, I think Satya has to attack, then you make the token. So we don't get to we cannot make use of the Guide of Souls trigger in addition. Why is it on 3? It's on 2. Yeah. That makes sense.
2. I believe so. The Guide of Souls trigger is when it goes on the stack, you just target. So both creatures attack, and he can, with Satya, target the Guide of Souls, and with Guide of Souls,
Okay.
target the
This
Guide
way.
of Souls.
This way, yeah. Yeah, that could be, that could work.
And let the Satya trigger resolve first, and then pay for the Guide of Souls trigger.
But is it? Okay, so just for you guys, we don't have the cards on the right side. When you see the video, it's already finished, so you have the cards on the right side. Right now, we don't have that. I'm not exactly sure if, but that doesn't make any sense to have like the costs, the energy costs, in addition to putting a trigger on stack. That's completely stupid.
Pardon? Not quite sure what you mean.
I was thinking about whether or not it works the way you described, but
Yes, it does. It
it
does.
seems that. What did he decide for? He paid 3.
He did.
He
Put
did.
it on the Guide of Souls.
Because also, of course, because also he gets 2 energy for the Satya trigger. Of course. How could I forget?
Yeah.
So he's able to pay that anyways.
I'm always a little confused about when that Satya mana has to be paid. The energy has to be paid.
End of turn, usually. End of turn, you have to pay energy equal to converted mana cost.
At the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice that token unless you pay energy equal to its mana value.
And it seems he did not decide to do that, which is okay. Next turn, it's getting more energy to stack more counters. Here we have a block. There are a lot of good cards in Yoshi's hand. There's a Sanctifier. There's a Solitude coming around. This block seems a bit ballsy, to be honest. Because, I mean, it's not really threatening. Adelise attacks for Adeline. Not Adelise was. Adelise is a forgotten wizard.
It is.
So the human, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, would be 5 damage. I don't know, it's not too scary. Maybe you can, yeah, okay. Seems he can recast Satya. And the Solitude also grants some life. But yeah, I think you have the Menace, you have the Guide. You have another token that attacks, brings more energy to the battlefield. And now you can, exactly, you can pump Satya.
Yeah, so he's attacking for
8.
8 in the air and the 1/2 on the ground.
Yeah, right.
Which he can block with whichever creature. So yeah, I think it's okay using the mother as a blocker. It is a bit risky. Oh, Yoshi found a loyal apprentice. So
Yeah, that could be dangerous. In a way
he's
that
attacking with everything, but everything seems to have vigilance.
Mother is not the correct protection creature. A giver would be better. There is an Ember Cleave.
Oh, that looks.
That's dangerous.
So if he had played his loyal apprentice pre-combat, that would be lethal, right?
I think it still is.
It still
Because
is.
Adeline
5.
is...
So 4 creatures on the field, +1/+1, doubled. So that's 11 damage from the.
Trample, yeah.
Oh yeah, and 4 damage from Isamaru, +1/+2. Yeah,
It's
okay.
Yoshimaru.
It's Yoshimaru.
After
I
5
keep,
years, you
yeah.
keep saying
It's
Isamaru.
in my canon. They're both dogs.
I know.
Both Kamigawa dogs.
Good old times when people played 1 mana 2/2 vanilla creatures in the command zone.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago. Round 2. 1-0 for Yoshi. Embercleave was definitely a good top take, but it was also, I mean, he had a bunch of good cards in hand. So maybe if it was a matter of time until he finds a line to get back control of the game.
Yep. Not sure if that if trading with the solitude with the subtlety earlier would have changed the way of the game very significantly, but I think it would have made an impact.
Here we have a Flage again with a Simian Spirit Guide. Interesting. A creative way to get rid of Yoshi. Or more like a necessary one.
It's pretty expensive, cards like tempo and cards wise.
Yes.
Um,
But on the other hand, you slow down the biggest threat your opponent can oppose. And you gain some life. You gain time. I think it's a It's a
Yeah,
fine thing. We
and
see 2 lands, a Fear of Missing Out, and a Headliner Scarlet. No, sorry, it's a Brazen Borrower, not a second land. You
there is
were about to
risk
say something.
of Yoshi growing to 4 in the turn afterwards, so maybe the Flage was kind of forced if in his mind, because it would have grown to 3, right?
With Zergo and the land, yeah.
Yeah. This is
I think
an
apart
aggressive
from
play, the Brazen Borrower. I'm not sure if I like it that much.
yeah, me neither.
Bouncing the Giver.
On the other hand, if you the Fear of Missing Out is maybe if you're searching for a 4th land, would have probably been better to cast the FOMO. Then again, keeping your opponent's board under control, it's also not too bad. Still,
Yeah.
he has the leaders, the swords for Satya. Not too bad.
So if Satya keeps hitting land drops here, then with that Flage eventually coming down, it is dangerous while Yoshi can't find lands.
Definitely.
And especially because Yoshi has at least 2 cards that cost 1 white, a Mother of Runes and a Giver of Runes, and only 1 white land to pay for them. He's stuck on a lot of cards here.
I was just about to say that he cannot cast Brazen Borrower, but there is the second blue source, so that might be something for the later turns. Mother of Runes, it's a different business. But we have a...
Swords to Plowshares.
That's a Swords to Plowshares, okay.
Yeah, it's from the Bloom Barrow showcase cards.
Ah, okay, yeah. It looks like special guests with the... Could be...
I guess.
Yeah, whatever. Haven't seen this artwork yet, but it makes sense. There's a Headliner Scarlet. Coming in for 5. Next turn,
No
drawing...
Delirium.
No Delirium, yeah.
There is
That
another
would be
land.
crazy. That would be crazy in that situation.
That would have been 8 damage instead of 5.
Isn't it...
Okay, Skyclave.
No, isn't it like you untap all the creatures?
No, you untap 1 creature.
Ah, okay.
So it's very strong with creatures with vigilance, which hasn't seen much competitive play. There's usually like a Detective's Phoenix on the Fear of Missing Out or something like that. And now,
A Bombardiers, Broadside Bombardiers coming in. Always a dangerous thing. Yeah, that's something you need to block. He can still...
So it would have been much better, in my opinion, to proactively throw the Guide of Souls at the Skyclave, because the Bombardiers has Menace.
Yeah, exactly. I
So
would have done the same. Also
he-
because the Guide of Souls currently does not look...
I mean,
like
it gained him a
the...
life, but the life isn't really that important here.
Yeah,
And he gets to escape Flage either way.
exactly.
Yeah, so maybe sometimes you have those situations where you've been playing Magic all day and you just kind of tunnel vision and do that play and don't really think about it, and that might have been what happened here. It might have been a serious consideration, but I don't think the Zergo was that impactful that he really needed to trade his Broadside Bombardiers for the Zergo.
Mm.
There's
But I
probably
mean,
the
he's
Giver
still left
coming
with
down.
a
Yeah.
good position. Having the 4/4 token. Next turn, there will be a guaranteed Flage cast, which would probably be the best line to go for.
Do you know what land that is? Is that a Minas Tirith?
Could be a Minas Tirith, yeah. No, I think it's a Core Haven.
A Core Haven.
Yeah, I think it's a Core Haven.
That's surprising.
Yeah, prevent all combat damage. Yeah, prevent all combat damage target each creature deals. Yeah.
Okay. And the card you just played?
I don't know this one. And oh no, it's the new mouse. I do know the card. It's commonly played. Yeah, I forgot to send you the list up front.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, that is a very strong draw.
Arena of
Hasting
Glory
the Flage is game winning here.
Yeah, definitely.
It just game winning because he gets to jump the Flage with the Guide of Souls. He gets to kill the blockers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's over.
Boom, boom, baby. Game 3. That was a quick one.
Arena of Glory Flage is such
I love this
an
card.
incredibly powerful
I love this
combo.
card. So such good memories with Aragon. Having a hasty Aragon is so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but it is another moment of, oh my god, cards have gotten a lot better. If you look at the other haste, so there used to be the haste enabler land that was Boros mana and tap, and then there was the haste enabler land that was 1 red mana and tap, Hanware Garrison,
Right.
and now we are at sort of half a mana where you're paying 1 now. You have the same amount of mana now, and then next turn you have 1 less. But doesn't matter if you're hasting a Flage.
Definitely. And there are so many use cases for this. I mean, Croxa, for example, is also, it's not the most popular Titan right now, but same here. You have like a 6/6 hasty boy that comes from the graveyard, and you have 2 triggers for your opponent, discarding 2 cards.
Yeah. So I think there was an argument for trading Ardos with Guide of Souls here. It depends on how likely it is that the Yoshi player has more haste creatures. And I think I see a Headliner Scarlet there. So his curve is likely going to be Magus of the Moon into Headliner Scarlet.
That
Which
could be the
seems like
thing,
a
yeah.
pretty powerful lineup if he has the lands to play the Headliner Scarlet next turn. I think he has another land now. But if he's considering based on the cards,
he has 2
he has
lands.
an
So
Eldritch
there's the
Pilot. Okay.
there is the Parlor, and the 4th one is the Draw land. I forgot the name. It's not Sundown Pass. Sundown Pass is the slow land. What was it called?
Sunbaked Canyon.
Sunbaked Canyon, exactly, yeah. So here we have a subtlety. Pitching a wash away.
So he's going to wish that subtlety. He still had that subtlety for the Headliner Scarlet next turn.
Yeah, definitely. Satya is not in a good position here.
Not at all. Being at 8 life this early in the game
is
very scary.
Usually
and
disastrous, yeah. And we see a Flame Slash and the Scarlet. We have the 4th land, so there are a bunch of options.
Yeah.
Even if you're...
But I mean, with the 5/3 Scarlet attacking, that's just lethal.
Yep.
So he's probably going to go for that.
Oh,
this changes things.
The Spellbinder is great. Okay, he's proposing the target. Look here. I have
Yeah.
3 things. One of those you cannot choose. The other 2 are pretty much irrelevant. So just go ahead and take the Headliner Scarlet
Yeah.
to make it a bit more exciting. And as of now, Elite Spellbinder is even blocking Yoshi. So right now, in terms of blocking creatures, it looks good. But then
So,
again, there is a Flame Slash.
yeah, I would expect we just see him play it down here.
Whip, whip, whip.
He plays the Magus. And he probably plays the Flame Slash as well.
Of course you do. Don't give
And I
your
think if
opponent.
you're Satya, you have to double block Yoshi at this point. Oh, wait, no, if he plays the Flame Slash,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
irrelevant. Yeah.
I think he would have to do that, especially because without an island, there is no Satya in range of being casted. Oh, a Mental Misstep is
Misstep.
huge.
He's still at 7. So I think it's pretty safe to attack with Ardos here as well.
Yeah, I think so too. Instead, the opponent decides to pass the turn.
Okay. Yeah, I guess maybe
too sure
he's a bit
about
scared.
that.
He has the Sunbreak Canyon. So he has no more gas. And, Zatya does play a lot of red removals, so maybe passing the turn here is the play. I don't really think so, though. I think because that Guide of Souls.
And there's a Solitude.
Gives you
So
Solitude.
now is the question, if there's a 4th land, okay, he decides to go for Yoshi. That could turn the tide. Because right now it seems...
Oh,
okay.
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 Okay, so he's just hoping nothing happens here.
That's interesting.
Oh, but that Ardos ability might come through.
Producing a goblin,
Right?
yeah.
He makes a 3/1 goblin.
Didn't he draw? Oh, it's not a flake, it's a
Swings for
braid.
6.
Okay. That's quite an underwhelming. Yeah, maybe is that your player forgot about that?
Yeah, I think Ardos is one of those cards where in these sorts of decks you very often forget about its ability.
Yeah, because...
I would also be very surprised if we saw a Yoshi replay here, but we do see a
is
Yoshi
a
replay.
Yoshi replay. Okay.
Okay, 2 mana. What was the card that
It's yeah, he cannot do this, yeah. And now he realized the sequencing was not good. Only 1 white mana available. And that might be a turning point because you're losing so much tempo here. There's the 4th land. We still don't know about the last card.
Swinging for 6, right? So he's on a 3-turn clock.
That is true, but now he can just decide to. Okay, he still decides to go for the offensive plan. That's interesting.
Will be
not quite sure if I would.
Interesting to see what happens.
There's a Zergo that could be dashed in. Oh, this could go wrong.
This is it lethal? No, not cool. It might be.
Zergo hits for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's lethal.
Because the Zergo has haste from the Ardos trigger.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, it has haste due to dash.
And it has more power from the Ardos.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I meant it. Yeah.
Interesting game. A couple of small mistakes on both sides, but in the end, I would have. Yeah, I mean, I think the Magus cast really changed something here. Maybe the subtlety cast on how is the Zeno, the card is called, right? The bird. Maybe that was a bit optimistic because the card doesn't. I mean, it's a very nice synergy together with Yoshi. I know that, but
it is a flyer that trades with the Elite Spellbinder. So, like, I understand, but I think there were Yeah, there were a couple of situations where I would have played differently.
Yeah, me too.
And it's always, we have this sort of top-down knowledge of the game, and we have a very neutral perspective.
Of course, of course.
And so it's always a little different, sometimes the context of other games also comes into play where you think, oh, I want to play against the chance that there is a high roll of luck on the opponent's side, or I want to try to capitalize on them having a lot of bad luck and things like that. Those decisions are there,
Mhm.
um, and yeah, that's the way these kind of aggro matchups end up most of the time. So
True.
thanks for watching.
Thank you very much,
Um,
and see you in round 5.